Many Orthodox monastics are great fighters against heresy, but we must remember that the monasticism started with the Gnostics. It's a place that lies in between Gnosticism and Orthodoxy, really, in practice. Um, Dominic of the West took on a monastic life as severe as the Gnostics he was battling to win over the people. He was fighting against the Albigensians, who were descended from the Bogomils and the Paulicians. Digging up the Nag Hammadi library proves that the toll houses started in Gnosticism. And even in positive documentaries of Mount Athos, it's plain for the Orthodox to see that there's not just a tinge of Gnosticism there. There is no cost great enough to pay to defend Orthodoxy. And if every monastery has to be torn down, then we have to do that. The concession of the endorsement of monastic life came with St. Anthony. Orthodoxy had already been firmly established for hundreds of years at that point. We need to realize that monasticism is something early, and that those early monasteries were filled with Manichaeans and Buddhists from Bactria and Gnostics. And strange to see the leaders. Now, I'm not going to speak against anybody at Skeet, of course not, or John Climacus, or any of these guys, or Grigor Palamas, any of the great people. Again, these are great people not because they were monastics, but because they were Orthodox. They were in agreement with the councils and the creeds. But monasticism counts for absolutely nothing and can only build up somebody's hatred and make them a bitter old man when they stray from orthodoxy, when they go away from the love of God for legalism. And that's what the hell do I say when a demon comes to me? If a demon never charges me on my way to heaven, you committed this sin, I say I committed that sin and so many more, and I'm absolutely guilty of it, and even if I didn't repent of it, okay, I have Christ in the Eucharist and my baptism, go fuck yourself. In those terms, I don't care. The blood of Christ covers a multitude of sins. Why I care what they say? A demon, the danger is thinking that demon has any power over your soul when you're already baptized. Get out. The Theotokos, at the sound of her name, the demons scream. They flee. She is a fierce warrior. I mean, when we have the Theotokos, why fear any demon from any toll house? They have no judgment. Galatians, that destroys toll houses. I remember when I was first heard about toll houses, I said, well, I have the book of Galatians, so they can go to hell. And the parish priest goes, thank you. Exactly. It's straight out of Gnosticism, and it's only bits and pieces of it. For what the toll house has turned into, I don't think even Seraphim Rose would endorse what's getting said now. The idea that every Orthodox person has to submit to the toll houses, for a monastic teaching of strictness and of a discipline for the monasteries, fine. Let that be, fine, for them. But the idea that's something that the councils and the creeds never talked about. If there were toll houses, look at our funeral. Look at the funerals that we do. If there were toll houses, you bet there'd be mention in an Orthodox funeral. Why aren't they? Oh, because it's an extra thing. That's something that was from the Gnostics, that was adapted, that was brought in, glorified by Christ, and only to be used in the strict monastic setting, and not to be just thrown around. But no, people then remove it and pull it, and it becomes Gnostic again. Unacceptable. Even if we have to incur a situation like Athanasius contra Mundum, the situation that Athanasius had to endure during his time. And even John Chrysostom was exiled multiple times. This is the way of the Orthodox. It's not just blindly sticking. I mean, if it's blindly sticking with authority, then what the... I mean, where is any permission to break off from Rome? I see nothing but hypocrisy and belittling the works of Christ with the modern day representation of the toll houses. There is no excuse to do that. It's not, well, we're being more orthodox. No, when you stick with the creed. That Baptist woman who knows the Nicene Creed, or that Lutheran woman that knows the Nicene Creed, and in faith walks after Christ and holds to her baptism in the Eucharist, that I have more faith in than somebody going around slamming toll houses in people's faces, belittling the Theotokos, belittling the Eucharist in your baptism, saying that demons are more powerful than the prayers of the saints. This should scare the hell out of everyone, the fact that the toll houses are being represented in such a way. And it's absolutely unacceptable.